Hello, today we are going to see a page replacement algorithm. So in this we'll see how to write a program to simulate the following continuous memory allocations techniques using C++ or Python. So first we'll see FIFO and next LRU and in this then optimal. So first we'll see here FIFO. So here we'll create a one file. So here in this inside this int main, I have given a int reference string and of 10, and here a page false is equals to a 0 comma n comma n comma s comma page and frames. So here in this printf it will print the FIFO pages replacement, and it will print the number of pages, and it will scan from the user, and then it will print the reference values, and then here in this inside this for loop m is equals to 0 and m less than pages and m increment. Then it will print the value of number of percentile d, the m plus n. Then here it will scan the reference string. Then here it will print the number of frames. Then it will scan from the user, which is frames. It will then here inside the stem here given a in temp of frames. Here in this for loop m is equals to 0 and m less than frames and m increment, and here the temp of m is equals to -1. Then here in this for loop m is equals to 0 and m less than pages and m increment. Here s is equals to 0. Then here for inside this for loop n is equals to 0 and n less than frames and n increment. Then here the reference string of m equal to temp of n. Then here s increment and the page false. Then here the page false s increment. Then here in this if inside this if case, if the page false is less than or equal to frames and s is equal to 0, then here temp of m is equals to reference string of m, or else if s is equal to 0, then here the temp of pages false -1 of percentile frames and the reference string of m. Then here it will print the total pages of false, and here the page false it will print. Then here it will print the page false. So then here it will print the hint ratios as a page false. Then here it will print the page false and comma pages. So here we'll give a file. Here I will give. Then here it is asking to enter the number of pages. Then here I will give as a 10. Then the value one I will give 3. The number of pages frames 3. So here it has printed the total pages false 7 and total pages in 3, and hint ratio 3/10, and the miss ratios are 7/10. So now we'll move to the LRU. So here we'll move the file. So here I've given a int. So inside this code, I have given a hash include header file hash include stdio.h, and here int find LRU. Inside this bracket, I have given a int time of and int n. Then here the int I, comma minimum equal to a time of 0 and POS equals to 0, and inside here the for loop. Inside this for loop, I equal to 1 and I less than n plus I. Then here if the time of time of I is less than minimum, then minimum equal to a time of I, then P of S equal to I, then it will return the POS. Then inside this main, so int a number of frames, a number of pages, a number of the frames of 10, and here the pages of 30, and here the counter equals to 0, then time of 10, then flag 1, flag 2, I, comma j, comma POS false equal to 0. Then here it will print the LRD pages of replacement. Then here it will print the number of pages, then it will scan from the user. Then here it will print the reference values. Then here in this while loop, I equals to 0, I less than number of pages, and plus plus I. Then here it will print the values of value number of percentile d I plus 1. Then here in this scanner will scan pages of I from the user. Then it will print the number of frames, and then it will scan from the user. Then here frames of I equals to minus 1. Then here in this for loop, I equals to 0, I less than number of pages, and plus plus I. Then the flag 1 equal to flag 2 equal to 0. Then here if the frames of j equal to pages of I, then a counter increment. Then here time of j equal to counter, then flag 1 equal to flag 2 equal to 1. Then here it will break. Then here the if flag 1 equal to 0, then here in this for loop j equals to 0, j less than number of frames, and plus plus j. Then if the frames of j equal to minus 1, here minus 1, then the counter increment, then here the false increment, then the frames of j equal to pages of I, and time of j equal to counter, and flag 2 equal to j. Then here it will break. And here if the flag 2 equal to 0, then POS equal to find LRU of time, comma number of frames. Then here counter increment, then here the false increment, then the frames of POS equal to pages of I, then the time of POS equal to counter. Then here it will print the total pages false equal to percentile d false. Then here it will print the total pages of hints, and the page false. Then here it will print the hint ratios, and here it will print the miss ratios. Then here now then here it is asking to enter the number of pages. So here I will give here. Then here the values I will give. One, 6 to 4. Then here 3. The number of frames I will give 3. Then here it has given a total pages false equal to 8. Then here it has printed the total pages of hints equal to 2, and the hint ratio 2 by 10, and miss ratios is 8 by 10. So here we'll create another file. So here I've given a code inside this main. I've given a int number of frames and number of pages, and frames of 10 and pages of 10, and temp of 10, flag 1, flag 2, flag 3, I, j, k, and comma POS, comma max, and false equal to 0. Then here it will print the optimal pages of replacement. Then here it will print the then it will scan from the user. Then here it will print the reference values, and for I equals to 0, I less than number of pages, and plus plus I. Then it will print the values number for percentile d I plus 1. Then here it will scan from the user. Then it will print the number of frames, and then here it will scan a number of frames. Then here inside this for loop, I equals to 0, I less than number of frames, and plus plus I. Then the frames of I equal to minus 1. Then here the flag 1 equal to flag 2 equal to 0. Then here if the frames of j equal to pages of I, then the flag 1 equal to flag 2 equal to 1. Then here it will break. Then here if the flag 1 equal to 0, then here inside this for loop j equals to 0, j less than number of frames and plus plus j. Then here the frames of j equal to minus 1.